Hi, welcome to Dispatch 101. I'm going to show you how to access the software that we primarily manage our drivers and customers' freight through. If you click on this icon here, it says Area. This is going to take you to our innovative software, which is where we spend the predominance of our time. Down here you'll see our user login and password. You will receive one specific to you. We also have a test library that you'll receive access to. Innovative menu that our dispatchers operate in is this number 4 option, Innovative Main Menu. Type number 4 on the command line and hit enter. This is a command-based system, so if you accidentally get your cursor outside of the area where it's indicated you should be entering the information in and try to hit enter, it will take you back where you need to be. You'll notice this is on the main menu. I have access to several different items. If I hit page down, you'll see that I have many more options that I have access to. Depending upon your position, you may or may not have access to all of the same menus that I do. So just know when you log into the system, the numbers that we reference might be similar or they may be different. I'm going to go into the Dispatch Services menu, which is where our dispatchers spend the bulk of their time. So this is option number 12. So under the Enter Options section, I'm going to hit 12 and enter. You'll notice we are now in the Dispatch Services menu. Predominantly, our dispatchers are going to be spending their time in the check call entry. This is option number 3. Hit 3 on the command line and enter. This is an empty check call screen. We're going to enter in a truck number just so that you can navigate the system and understand how to read it. TRAC stands for tractor. DRV1 stands for driver 1. DRV2 stands for driver 2. We typically only have one driver assigned to a unit. If we did have 2 drivers, there would be a spot for the primary driver and a spot for the secondary driver name to display. I'm going to enter a truck number. 3452 is a company truck driver. Our operators, owner-operators and independent contractors have different truck numbers. You'll learn that here in a little bit. The system is command-based, so you'll notice when I enter this, I actually hit the plus sign on my keypad next to the numbers. This is right justifying everything that we enter, and it is required to use the system. Now that I've hit that, I'm going to go ahead and click enter. And this brings up lots of different information, which is why I've picked this particular driver. Truck number that this driver is assigned is 3452. Reading the screen here, this is our driver code. REDK is the code for Kevin C. Reeder, the driver assigned to this particular tractor. You'll notice there is a theme in all of our coding. This driver's code consists of the first 3 letters of his last name, RED, and then K, the first initial of the driver's name. Most of our codes are very, very similar. I will show you a trick where you can learn how to enter and search for drivers' names. This driver lives, his home location is in Anderson, Indiana. His driver manager is in Chesterton. Customer that we're picking up for, this is the shipping customer now, is ArcelorMittal. The contact is Brandon. This is the contact name of the shipper. Origination is in Burns Harbor, Indiana. You'll notice too there's a consistent theme in how our cities and states and our customer codes are derived. The customer here is ArcelorMittal, Burns Harbor. So the code for this customer is AM for ArcelorMittal, BH for Burns Harbor. Our city and state coding is very similar to the name structure, whereas the first 4 letters are the city name, BUHA, since this has 2 names, 2 BUHA, and then IN for Indiana. On the right side of the screen, it's going to display the consignee. Now this is the final destination for the shipment. If there is more than one stop off, more than one drop, or more than one pickup, it will display elsewhere. On this screen, this is your primary pickup and your primary destination. Consignee on this is Columbus Coatings, Again, you'll see we have CCCO is the code structure for this particular consignee, Columbus, Ohio. The delivery date for this load is 8/25/14 at 8 a.m. The ETA is currently showing 8/26/11 a.m. So I'm not sure why this load is showing a different ETA, but we'll talk to the dispatcher. This truck is currently pre-planned on his next order. This blue box here will pop up anytime the driver has a pre-plan for his following load. What this means is that the driver, when he is empty on this order number, every load is assigned an order number. Here's his current status. The driver is dispatched on this order. And when he is empty on this particular load, once he is delivered in Columbus, Ohio, he is scheduled to pick up this next shipment. In order to get rid of this blue box, you simply need to hit enter. The satellite information is going to show in the middle of the screen. All of our drivers have a satellite device in their truck, a GPS system called PeopleNet, which you will learn if you have not yet already. Satellite info last contact for this driver is in Mexico, Indiana. That was at 8/25 at 16:30 in the afternoon or 4:30 p.m. Down here you'll notice some information. As soon as the load is dispatched on the load, you're going to receive a route line, which we can't see right now because this driver's it's already too many lines on this particular driver. The C comments here are all entered when the driver either arrives or departs from a shipper. You'll see here is a loaded call on this particular driver, and all of these messages will continue to increase as the driver moves throughout the shipment. If we hit F4 from this screen, and you'll notice on the bottom of your screen there's different options for the command. They're very basic instructions. If you want to play with the system, it will show you that there are more. This actually goes up to 24 options, and these are all driven by the command keys at the top of your keyboard. So I want to look at the order history on this particular load from Checkcall. I'm going to hit F4. If we hit F4, this is what a basic order will look like, and we will go through how to enter an order at some point. Order number is showing here. Again, here's your customer, ArcelorMittal, Burns Harbor. This is also the customer code for the bill to is ArcelorMittal, Burns Harbor. And it's also loading at the shipper, ArcelorMittal, Burns Harbor. Here's the consignee information, Columbus Coatings, Columbus, Ohio. The load was scheduled to pick up today, 8/25 at 8 a.m., and can deliver today, 8/25 from 8 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock tonight. The commodity code is a spot, which means it's a one-time charge. We don't currently have a rate in the system, so there should be a rate confirmation sheet that accompanies this load that tells us what to bill the customer. And it will come up with the estimated revenue for the shipment. You'll notice, too, that the weight on this load showing in the center of the screen is 57,720 pounds, and it's one piece, it's one coil. Over here on the OM comments, this is the board in which this load originated, so it's out of board 41. The contact customer information is on this line here, and the consignee customer information is on this side of the screen. Down below you'll see these different comments that show up. B comments are billing comments and are meant to go to the billing department upon delivery of the load. So this tells the billing department how much to bill the customer for this particular shipment, and any other information that we may need to bill the customer. Fuel surcharge, a minimum weight. The C comments is information that's meant to be sent to the driver upon dispatch. I mentioned that the drivers have a GPS system. This information is translated through that system to the driver in his cab of his truck, and it gives him the pickup number and tells him where to pick up the freight at this particular door. If I want to page down to see if there's any information, I just hit the page down button, and again there's another billing comment, and its bill is 80,000 pounds minimum per Conrad Victor, which is helpful for the billing department to have. If I hit enter on this screen, it's going to give me who's dispatched on the load and that route line that we couldn't see from the check call. this route line, it shows that this driver was dispatched on this load on the 25th at 11:24 in the morning, which is probably why the ETA was showing for tomorrow. He didn't pick it up early enough to deliver today. The driver was originally in Bridgeton, Illinois, Bridil. He was empty going into Burns Harbor, Indiana, where he picked up at ArcelorMittal, and now the driver is going loaded into Columbus, Ohio, which is where the destination consignee is located. And just, this is a C comment that was entered by the dispatcher. Coil has a wrinkle in the corner. Mill is, and if I hit scroll down, I hit the page down, writing up damage on paperwork. So that information was put in by one of our dispatchers. And if you have, if you are a dispatcher, you'll be assigned your own 3-letter code, which would show up here when you make check call entries or dispatch the truck. It would be your initials here. And if you scroll through, you just have the basic information: when the driver got to the shipper, when they departed, if they're loaded, and it would give you all the details of the load if it's on delivery. On the bottom of the screen, it'll show the dispatch date and time again. The initials are ISG. That's because it was dispatched automatically by our PeopleNet system, and we'll go into that in further detail at a later video. The truck number assigned to this driver is 3452. The trailer number is 5439. And I'm going to show you how you can pull this information up the same way using the trailer number. It's the first dispatch on the load, so he's the only driver. And here's the driver information: Kevin Reeder. We know he's on this load. The loaded miles are 270, which means from Burns Harbor to Columbus, Ohio, it's 270 miles. The empty miles, which the driver drove from Illinois to Burns Harbor, are 51. So it's going to give us that information. And again, here is that route line down here that shows us the driver went from Bridgeton, Illinois, empty into Burns Harbor, which was 51 miles. Went loaded from Burns Harbor to Columbus, Ohio, which is 270. To exit this screen, I simply hit F3. F3 here at the bottom of the screen. There's always tips on the bottom of the screen. F3, and now I'm back where we were. I just want to show you quickly how I can access this information by tabbing over to the trailer number and entering that trailer number 5439. And again, if I try to hit enter, it's going to give me that little sound, and it's going to show this little red XII. To get rid of that, I just simply hit my control. The system doesn't like it because it's command based. We need to justify that number by hitting your plus sign on your number pad. Now you can see the same information has popped up. We can also access the same screen and this information by putting in the driver code, which is this REDK in the driver code. So I'm going to hit F3, REDK, and again, it brings up the same information. Oftentimes, if you're stuck in the screen, most of these little lines where you can enter information is going to have the ability to put in a question mark. Oops. Put in a question mark. And you can search for the information. So I'm going to look for the driver's short name. So I'm going to put in KEV and just hit enter. And of course, he's not going to show up for me. Let's try RED for Redder. There he is. In order to select this driver, I simply need to tab down to the bar in front of it, put a 1 to select him, and hit enter. And now it's found that driver. So oftentimes you'll see this little question mark, and you can typically hit the little bar and put a question mark in, and it's going to give you the information. To exit all of the screens, all you need to do is hit F3. That'll take you back out to all the main menus. If you hit F12, it will take you to the previous menu. So if I want to go back to the dispatch, go from dispatch services to the main menu, I can hit F12, and it takes me back to the main menu. From the main menu, if you want to log off of the system, to log off you simply hit 90 and enter. And now you have logged off the system successfully.